in a second. Tell us about how you got involved, the honor itself, and what made it so important for you to do community service.
Well, it started as an extra credit opportunity for a class. You know, he gave us an opportunity. He said that Dr. Close, I studied criminology here. He said that we can volunteer at certain schools and stuff like that. So I took advantage of it, and then I continued doing it, outside of the classroom because I realized how much of an impact it's made on the few kids that I've been able to reach out to. So. And I mean, he stressed how important it is that to help those kids because of the situation they're in, especially at a school like Riley Elementary. You know, where it's located and stuff like that. Those kids don't have much going for them. They don't have mentors to help them, to push them, to challenge them and help them, reach their potential. You know what I mean? They're trying to help out, trying to touch a few lives and trying to do the right thing.
And for you, what makes that so important? Because someone could just say, hey, you play football, all you have to worry about is that in school, but why make this extra effort to be there for those kids?
Well, I was blessed enough to have two older brothers that really that taught me how to become a man as fast as possible. You know, they live the right way, they do the right thing and stuff like that. And I realized how much of an impact that made on my life. I mean, coming from an island, to be able to come to school and get a degree and stuff like that. So I'm having a successful run, thank God for that. And I realized that I have a platform by being a football player here. So I realized that I can reach out to a lot of kids here because they love football. I mean, everyone in the city knows who you are and stuff like that. So by me going over there and talking to them about other things other than football, it's really shocked them, and it's helped a lot of them. It's helped a lot of them too. They always come up to me and say, man, I thought you was coming over here to talk about the game or how to become a football player and stuff like that. But I stay away from that. They try to ask about how the game's going and practice and stuff like that. But I really use those 2 hours to try to express to them the importance of making the right choices and respecting the elders and doing the right thing. And it's been a really good year and really successful with a few of the kids.
When did you start doing it?
Last fall, yeah.
So like a year and a half?
About a year and a half ago, yeah.
How many times have you gone, I guess?
2 times a week.
Okay.
Early in the morning, try to go as early in the morning as possible because, we got stuff to do here. So I normally go at about 9 o'clock, 9 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it's Tuesday and Thursdays this semester. Last semester was Monday and Wednesdays. So it depends on how my schedule open up, but I try to do my best to that morning schedule. Like I normally don't have like 8 a.m.s or anything, so I normally be able to get it in during that time.
So is it like, are you hanging out with the kids? Are you spending time with them? Are you tutoring? Like exactly
Yeah,
what are the 2 hours?
it's a both. It's teaching them social and academic stuff. So my first time doing it was a kid that's really smart,
Mm-hmm.
but he had challenges at home. He didn't have a dad. His dad was in prison. He doesn't have he has an older brother, but they're not doing the right thing. But so it was really more stressing to him how the importance of making the right choices, being respectful in school and doing school, and having the right attitude towards the administrators and the people at school and his grandma and everybody that's trying to help him. Now this semester I have a 5th grader that's having trouble in math. So this one I've been teaching him math skills and how important it is not just to do the work in school. It's important that when you go home, you look over your work. You can't just go into school for those couple of minutes classes are for and then doing the schoolwork and then go at home and play around. Like, in order for you to learn something, you have to take time out on your own to learn. So I express that to him that it's important, to do schoolwork in school and go at home and look over it and study and stuff like that. So it's been two different sides of it, but like to answer your question, yeah, I attack both aspects, social and academically.
Obviously, the first few times you walk in there, maybe the kids are starstruck by a football player. Do you think after a while, though, they maybe got to know you more than just being a football player, too?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, at first it was all questions about football. You know what I mean? Like it was like I started during the season, they would see me on the field, and oh, I saw you, so it was all that, and now it's more of they know I'm gonna ask, hey, how are things going on at home? How is your schoolwork? What are your grades are? So they don't even, I mean, I know we're out of season, but they, even during the season last year, they didn't ask much questions about football because they know, I lied to them and tell them that's my twin, that's not even me. You know, just to joke around with them a little bit, that's not even me out there, just to change the conversation. Because like I said, I only have a limited time, about an hour and a half, 2 hours with them, and that's not nearly enough time to you know, but I try not to talk about football because, you know, that's not what I'm trying to stress to them. It's very hard to get to where we're at, obviously. So I don't try to, you know, boost their head up with false dreams. You know, I try, like I said, I try to stress the importance of doing schoolwork and getting an education and doing stuff like that. So,
Given some of like the backgrounds that these kids come from, you know, for you, what kind of process was it like to get these kids to A, understand that you're there for them and you care about them, but B, for them to open up to you? Because I mean, those aren't easy things to discuss and kind of be open with.
well, I've had experience being back home because I've talked to schools back home and stuff like that. So I've had experience of learning how to approach situations like that when you have such a platform, and if you walk into the school, they want to talk about football and talk about other stuff like that. So, like I mean, the first thing I did with them was, you know, I asked them how are the things at home. Like, I think that was a weird way, that was a different way than other people, you know, approach them, because, you know, the guys were just like, well, things are fine. But I was just like, well, do you have brothers, do you have sisters? So I try to learn a lot about them, and I don't forget about it. So I don't come back on Thursday. If I go on Tuesday, I don't come back on Thursday and don't remember the kid's name or don't remember his situation. I'll start Thursday's session with, hey, so you told me that Tuesday you were going to do this with your grandma. How did that go? Showing that you actually do care and not just there just for, you know, just for show or whatever. So I think that was my approach, and I think it was successful.
And you were saying that you did that stuff when you were back in the Bahamas. So what's kind of been the difference between being here versus the Bahamas? Because I mean, I know the Bahamas, you know, everybody, because it's a small island, I'm sure people could kind of figure out like, oh, hey, it's Mavin. Whereas if here, I mean, did kids kind of know right away like who you are? Or was it like word of mouth sort of thing that they eventually figured it out? Or?
Yeah, I mean, well, back home, they know, it's a small island, so they know everything. They know my family. They know all your business. So it's kind of hard to reach them, because they knew who I was before I became here. So they knew I was one of those guys that were, you know, bad. I was a good student, but I was roots teachers and, you know, stuff like that, as we all kids were. So they were kind of like, I'll go back home now and speak to them, and they're like, that's not me, that's not him. So it was kind of hard to reach them here. Like, it took a while, you know what I mean? I had to tell them my number, and they'll be like, oh, I saw you here, and I saw you there, or whatever. So they, you know, that helped with it. But it was hard. It was much harder to reach back home. They're all starstruck that you're even at Florida State here. So I mean, I'm dealing with Riley, because they all want to get to college. You know, this is their big time dream school. So it was that was my way in, and it's been really good. So.
What was your reaction when they presented you with the award?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked with it. You know, I was mentoring the kid, obviously, and he kept, Mr. Lang, the administrator over there, kept asking for my information, and I told him my information I didn't know it was for. So he called me the other day before the ceremony, and told me that, hey, they presented me with this, and I was honored by it. You know, I kept it away from everyone, but, you know, people figured it out, because, you know, like I said, I'm trying to do this I'm not doing it for any show or anything like that. My goal is just to reach out to the kids. So.
About how many kids do you say you worked with there over your time? A year and a half? Do you have a rough estimate?
You mean I've had 2 individual students. So my approach has been with the individual students, because I feel like you reach out more to them individually instead of, I've talked to groups. I've had groups where I've talked to the whole 5th grade, where I had about 45 minutes, and I talked to them about making the right choices, and that went well. But I feel like individual based has been more effective. So that's why I chose to do individual instead of classroom setting.
What do you think is going to be the one thing you remember about this experience, whether it be 5 years or 50 years from now?
I mean, statistics show that more black men are in prison than in college. So my goal really is to just help these kids to realize the importance of school and try to live positive lives instead of, you know, going down the road that many people expect them to go to. Like, I mean, I know a lot of you probably driven past Riley. It's around by Joe Louis area. So you know that area, the things that those guys are exposed to. I mean, I go around and I'm seeing it, and it's like, I walked actually at their field day. I went to one of their field days, and we walked around Joe Louis, and I mean, things were being said to those kids from the people that are on the streets and stuff like that. And I mean, it's right out in the open, and some of those kids live there. So my job is, I feel like I'm just trying to show them, hey, there's a different way. Hey, I'm someone that's positive. You're trying to get to where I'm trying to get. Here, this is the blueprint. Here, this is the blueprint to get to where I'm at.
So I know you kept it quiet for a year and a half or so, and you just got the award. Have you heard from teammates or coaches or anyone in the program that have kind of said, oh, that's pretty?
Yeah, I mean, some of the coaches have said stuff to me. A lot of my teammates don't know about it. Like I said, I sneak up there early in the morning on my scooter before meetings and stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, I didn't, you know, this wasn't my intention. You know what I mean? So I try to do what's best and try to keep everything in house. You know, so.
Cool.